What's up, Pack Nation? It is Pack here, and I know that it's just been one game and I shouldn't be overreacting, but guys, the NBA is back and I'm excited, and after one game, I want to talk about which players need to be updated. Now, I understand that there's some teams that have not played a game yet, like the Warriors or the Bucks, for example. I don't care. I wanted to talk about the players that I think need an upgrade now after one game, after their performances on their opening nights. As I said, I won't be talking about a couple teams like the Warriors, Rockets, Bucks. And then if I think a team does not need any upgrade, I won't be talking about them in this video either. That being said, I don't want to waste your time. Let's get this video started. Always with the Philadelphia 76ers. The only player I wanted to talk about for the most part was Ben Simmons. So I know that we were all hyped about him making a jump shot in preseason. He did not shoot a single basket, at least jump shot wise, in this game. But however, he still did really good with 24 points, almost had a triple-double, doing things that Ben Simmons can only do. Because of that, I don't see why he's such an 87 when he's really showing that he's really good at everything defensively and offensively besides shooting. He still has a really complete game. Literally, Giannis is as complete. He doesn't have shooting. Well, he's a better shooter than Ben Simmons, let's be real, but still. And he's like a 96 overall. I don't think Ben Simmons should be that high. I'm saying +2 for Ben Simmons, make him an 89, and then let him earn that 90 overall throughout the season. The next team I wanted to talk about was the Bulls, and yes, I can talk about Lauri Markkanen and how he of course deserves +2 because he really did really good. He was easily the best player on the floor last night. Even knowing Zach LaVine how good he is, Lauri Markkanen just really did good last night. But he's not the player I really wanted to talk about. The player I wanted to talk about is Coby White. Coby White is the rookie for the Chicago Bulls. Is a 76 overall. I think he should be a 78. I have liked this dude ever since I saw him in the summer league. This guy actually has that like animal in him. Like he wants to score, he wants to play good defense, he wants to win, and I see it in his game every time he plays. That's why I like him a lot. He did very well for his first game ever. He has confidence, and I think he should also be +2 for NBA 2K20. So a 78 overall, at least. The next player I wanted to talk about was on the Celtics, and you're like, really? You need to talk about the Celtics? Because they did bad. Well, Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward is an 80 overall, and he looked like one of the best players on the floor. Really played with a lot more confidence than we saw last year. A lot more efficient. Scored, I think, more than anybody on this team. And I know that Kemba Walker just came in. Jason Tatum, we know, is working on it. But the guy that really seemed like he was confident in his game that game was Gordon Hayward. Daddy's always happy. That's why I think he should get +3 because he did that good on opening night. 83 overall for Gordon Hayward. The next player is actually very short and sweet. Kawhi Leonard for the Clippers. They beat the Lakers. They showed them that at the moment they're still the better team in Los Angeles, and even though they didn't have Paul George while the Lakers didn't have Kyle Kuzma, I think we can say for certain, in my opinion, Kawhi Leonard showed that he's the best player on the planet. Not only is he as great as everybody who's great in the NBA offensively, he is the hands down best perimeter defender. That's why I believe, and he's just a winner. So defending champion, Kawhi Leonard, best player in the league, and I think he should be a 98 overall to make that happen. For the Grizzlies is actually interesting. So do you guys remember when I made a video saying what NBA 2K20 predicted were going to be breakout players? They had Tyus Jones in the list, and I was like, why? But turns out he's actually doing pretty good so far. He did pretty good with the Grizzlies, and just because of that, and just because I thought that was kind of interesting that 2K20 did that earlier, I'll give him a +2. He had 7 assists, not as many turnovers, so a 75 for him, I think. Now, this next team is one I'm really interested in. So, Jimmy Butler did not play the first game of the season with the Heat because his child was being born, so he was like, no, of course I need to go see that child. I'm not going to go to the game, and he went to go do that, his business. Because of that, other players got the shine, specifically someone who's been doing great in the preseason, Justice Winslow. Not only is he an elite defender, he was scoring very well with 27 points. Justice really stepped up, and finally is that player that we kind of knew he could be, and he kind of had the opportunity to do it with this team, and that's why he did so well last night. Not only that, this dude right here, Kendrick Nunn, also did really well. He was the guy that went off in the preseason. He did great in the first game. I think he had 22 points. In a win with the Heat, looked like the second best player on that court, and he shot a lot, but he made a lot, and that's why I think they both deserve +3s. I think Kendrick Nunn should be a 73, and then Justice Winslow, it looks like one of the best players on the team, make him an 81. Now, this is what I'm kind of excited to talk about, the Hornets. Now, obviously, they're not going to be a good team this year. I mean, I could be wrong, right? But we all thought that Terry Rozier was going to be the best player on this team, probably, but it is not so far. So far, it is a little controversial. So, PJ Washington had, I believe, 31 points and 7 threes made in his first ever NBA game as a rookie. 7 threes in your first game. He was on fire. And he's only a 72 overall. He was the leading scorer on a win over the Bulls. And the Bulls have a lot of good talent. That's really impressive for a team that I thought was going to be arguably the worst team in NBA history. And so, yeah, +3 for him for sure. But what about Devonte Graham? He didn't have the same start as PJ Washington, but then this dude was clutch and was instrumental in the win for the Hornets. Like, he literally hit 3, clutch 3. He was a baller and did really well for them. So maybe he deserves +3, 72 for him at least. And then there's another player, Dwayne Bacon. Now, he also had a lot of points. I think it was like 20 something. But the thing about him is that he shot a lot. I know that that's like, well, that's not really a good way to determine if someone's good or not. But he has the confidence for this team. And as long as someone's shooting a lot, they're going to make a lot more than when they don't shoot a lot. Now for the Utah Jazz, it is Spider Mitchell. I said it right this time. I did it. Now, Spider Mitchell is still one of my favorite players in the NBA. I said that the Utah Jazz are literally contenders, and the reason is because I believe that Donovan Mitchell is the key. I think he can really genuinely be one of the best players in the NBA, and I think that the Jazz are contenders and that he could lead them to a championship this year. Yes, I didn't stutter. Mike Conley can't be playing like that though. He did really bad, but that's his first game. I give him a pass. Donovan Mitchell needs to be a +2, make him a 90 overall. Now he is great. For the Sacramento Kings, it's Buddy Hield. He wants his money. Vlade Divac is paying attention to him, and he's doing it for a reason. Buddy Hield is playing his mind off. He wants to get paid, and he was easily the best player on the court that game. Because of that, I think he should be an 86 overall, tied with De'Aaron Fox. I mean, there's not really a debate for me here. He's just so good. He's scoring so much. He wants to get paid. I think he should be an 86 overall. Now for the Knicks, I actually went to this game and I saw firsthand that of all things, a couple things. We lost, but we did good. Julius Randle had a good game. He did exactly what we expected him to, so I'm not going to talk about him. The ones I want to talk about is Marcus Morris Sr., who is a 78 overall and was getting booed out of his mind, and it didn't matter for him. He still dropped the most points for the Knicks in a loss, of course, but still, he seemed confident. You can tell why he wanted to go to the Knicks. He wanted to have a much, much bigger role for a team. And because of that, he's been scoring a lot more. And then the other player that was scoring a lot for his rookie debut, RJ Barrett, who also had a great game, was killing him on the left side layups. And then he even hit a 3, I think. So RJ Barrett really did a good job for his first game. Marcus Morris did a good job. I think this 3 with Julius Randle, Marcus Morris, and RJ Barrett could have a big 3. And then hopefully Mitchell Robinson comes back from an injury soon and we can have a genuinely good starting lineup. But +3 for Marcus Morris and RJ Barrett. Both of them should be an 81 overall, I feel. For the Lakers, none of you deserve any of this except for Danny Green. 77 overall, should be a 79. He was the only guy really that had like confidence that game. Like he was the only one who was really, I felt like he was the only one that wanted to win that game. Like he really played his butt off. Shot a lot of threes that we know he can do, and then not only that, he was actually scoring on the inside, which he never does, and plays amazing defense and got rebounds. So, complete game. He won't obviously do that every single game, but he had a really good game and was the leading scorer for the Lakers that game. So, there you go. For the Magic, the only person I really wanted to talk about, and even kind of, it's Markelle Fultz. I just think he had a little more confidence in his game, had a breakaway dunk. He just seemed a little more confident, and I really hope he ends up being a great player. This is a great pickup for the Magic, a sneak pickup because he could genuinely be a good player, and that was like the only piece they're missing, and the starting lineup was a good point guard. Hopefully, he can be that. +1 for him. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. Luka Doncic. Easily the best player on the Mavericks, in my opinion. He has no holes in his game, I got to be honest with you. Like, he did everything that you would have expected him to do. He's amazing, honestly. Even better than the year before, which is, well, at least for one game, which is saying a lot. 89 overall. I was gonna say 88, but he really is like an 89 overall type player. Like, what is he missing? I think he's better than Porzingis at the moment, but I think Porzingis needs time to develop, and he hasn't played basketball in a while, so he needs to kind of get back into his rhythm. And maybe he'll pass Luka Doncic. We'll have to wait and see. Same thing with Kyrie Irving, just +2 with him, which is a 93 overall. His highest rating ever is a 93 overall, so I wanted to match that with him because he had 50 points. And that's amazing, that's awesome, but he's done that kind of thing before in his game, so I think he's at his prime, and I wanted him to be a 93 overall. So there you go, +2. So for the Pacers, who are still without Victor Oladipo, it is Domantas Sabonis. This would not be a roster update video without Domantas Sabonis. He's in every single one of these videos because he's just so good. Every game, it's like he gets a little better, and he's only 23 years old. Stupid efficient, like one of the most efficient players in the league, honestly. He did really good. So did Miles Turner, but I think Domantas Sabonis should get that +1 for sure. For the Pelicans, it is Brandon Ingram. He wasn't like the most efficient player. He did okay, but I think he actually looks much better than last year. He seemed a little more confident. He did a little bit of everything, like defensively too. Like I think he actually improved very much, and they really looked for him to score. They made him the primary player to focus on, and I think he's gonna have a good season. When Zion returns, we're going to have to wait and see what happens, but at the moment, he looks really good. The next player is a player that the Pistons have needed, and that is Luke Kennard, who I'll give a +2 as a 77 overall. He's like Kyle Korver, who can kind of make his own shot too. Like, he really knows how to make it happen shooting-wise. He's a laser. This guy really is good at shooting. I have no reason to put him anything below a 77 overall. I mean, this team is actually pretty good. When Blake Griffin comes back, they have a squad low-key. For the defending champions, it is Pascal Siakam. I've been saying that he could literally be one of the best power forwards in the NBA, and it's looking like that. He really did well in his debut game as the primary scorer for the team. And then Fred VanVleet also did really, really well, which surprised me, honestly. Like I said before, and like the Raptors coach said, there was 25 points per game that Kawhi Leonard had left on the table. Someone needed to grab it, and Siakam and Fred VanVleet looked like they wanted to grab those points. 79 for Fred, and then 87 for Pascal Siakam. I think Pascal should be a 90 overall, yes sir, and I think Fred VanVleet should be an 82 overall. Even though I feel like that's a little high, I'll put him there just for fun. The only player I wanted to update on the Spurs is Dejounte Murray. I'm so happy he came back the way he did. He's easily an 80 overall, so +2 for him. He is so quick. It is like you blink and he's at the rim. He's just so good. I'm really excited for the Spurs. I mean, DeRozan needs to play a little better. He did okay, but Dejounte Murray looks really, really good, and he's a great defender. I'm happy for it. Now, the Suns won, and they won convincingly. Not only that, it was against the Kings, and the Kings had a pretty good team last year, and they didn't really change, and the Suns won really, really easily. Why? Yes, Devin Booker did really well, and he actually did really good defensively. Yes, Kelly Oubre did a great job. Yes, Ricky Rubio was that piece that they kind of been needing. I get all that, but in my opinion, there was one reason. DeAndre Ayton was dominant that game. Like I said, I wanted to pick a lot of players for this team. It still could be Booker, but DeAndre Ayton was a man among boys, and he made it a mission to be ridiculously dominant, had a high field goal percentage, was rebounding as much as he could. If they keep feeding him that way, and if everyone else keeps playing that way, they could be a surprise this year. That's all I'm going to say. For the Thunder, it was Shy. He had a lot of points, shot a lot of baskets, didn't make a lot of them. That's really it. So +1 for him to an 80 overall. It looks like he's going to be shooting a lot more this year. Chris Paul did pretty good too, and so did Danilo Gallinari, but they're expected. Shy did also okay, but again, he shot a lot of baskets. For the Blazers, Hassan Whiteside, he was putting up Andre Drummond numbers, and I mean a lot of rebounds, 19 rebounds that game, a couple points. Again, Andre Drummond is an 86 overall. Hassan Whiteside is an 81, and they really don't have that different of games. Andre Drummond's a little better of a scorer, but still at the end of the day, I think Hassan Whiteside, at least give him a +1 for the moment. He definitely looked like he was doing okay. And finally, for the Wizards, I wanted to talk about Rui Hachimura, who I have been a little high on. I'm actually expecting a lot of big things from him. I think he's really, really good. The best Japanese player in the world, and he's only 21 years old. Did really good in the FIBA tournament. Been doing great in the preseason. He did great in the summer league. And now, as expected, he did very, very good for the Wizards. In my opinion, he is the second best player on this team, but we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, excluding John Wall, obviously, who was injured, and I guess Isaiah Thomas, if you want to count that. Thomas Bryant did okay, but in my opinion, it really was Rui Hachimura who did amazing. I'm saying +3 for him because he's really good. That is it for this video, you guys. Do you guys agree? Leave it in the comments below. And if you like my channel, give it a sub. And I'll see you guys next time.